Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 5 of the acoustic guitar bridge repair series. Okay, so we're more or less at the final stages now. In the previous episode I set and glued the bridge in place. That's been clamped up and drying overnight, so we should be good to go now. So just move this across a little bit. Actually, let's just turn the camera around a bit, that's better. Okay, so time to remove the clamps now, see what we've got. So I take this one off the middle first. Easier said than done. Okay, that's that one out of the way. Okay, so this one I'm going to release the end screws first. Take these little wooden wedges out. Right, so I need an Allen key. There's the one. And undo these screws in the middle. So obviously I am going to have a little bit of glue clean up to do, but it shouldn't be too bad. So let's take these out. That to one side. As suspected, I've got to thread the screw out rather than just pull it out, but that's good because where I had to ream the holes out a little bit to get these screws in, hopefully I didn't do it too much so that the bridge pins are too loose. If they are, then it's a bit of a nuisance, but it's not difficult to repair. What I would do is plug up the holes, just these two end ones, put the wooden dowel in there and glue it in, let that set, and then re-drill the hole. It wouldn't be a big problem. It's just a bit of a time setback, but not a major issue really. Okay. Right, let's take that off the top. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I don't see any problems apart from a little bit of glue cleanup. But before I do that, I'm just going to try the bridge pins in these end holes, just to make sure I haven't opened them up too much. It should be fine. So let's just put the two end ones in. Maybe put these next two in. Yeah, see, they've got glue inside them, so I might have to plug those holes and re-drill them. Bit of a nuisance, but there you go. Okay, so it all looks good. There's no excuse me, there's no gaps or chips or anything around the edge, but as I said, there is some glue cleanup to do. A little bit more than I would have liked, but the problem is you can't really get to all of the glue when you've got all the clamps on. So let's just get that little bit off the bridge first. Just lightly scrape it with the scalpel blade. Probably give it another little light sanding again when I've finished, if there's any little score marks in there. Right, that's not too bad. What I wish I had, and I don't have, is these single edge razor blades. You can get ones exactly the same as this, but in plastic, and those would be pretty good for this kind of job really, because you know, it is very easy to make a mistake when you're using these metal blades, but I don't really see much of an option right now. some of the lighter bits I can actually scrape off with my fingernail, which doesn't seem to cause any scratching or anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do quickly is just go through these holes lightly with the reamer to make sure that these bridge pins will go back in. That's good. That's all that needs, just a little turn through to remove the glue. But as I said, it looks as though I might have to plug up those end ones and re-drill them. It's a nuisance, but such is life. But I'll try them with the strings first. They might be all right. Okay, that's good. One more. Tiny bit more on that one. Okay. So yeah, so all of those other pins fit nice and tightly. That one is loose. That one's not too bad, and that's the bass string, so we might be all right with that one. But oh dear, I might have to plug those holes and re-drill them. Let me just quickly try them with the strings first before I commit to any other jobs. So I'll just unwind the strings from this end. What's happened there? It's got itself tangled up. Okay, so let me try the smallest string first, because that's the one that the bridge pin is the loosest. As soon as I've untangled all the strings, I mean that's another reason why you coil them up and with a capo, just keep them, you know, secured at the other end, but they will still tangle. Sod's law, really. Right, okay, so let's just try that one first. I don't know. I really don't know. I think I'm gonna have to plug it and drill it. It's a blooming nuisance, really. Let's try this one as well. I think this one should be all right. Maybe not. Oh dear. I'm wondering actually if I've got another set of pins which might be slightly thicker, because that would solve the problem too. So let me just get those strings out of the way again. Okay, so let's see what I've got in my stash as far as bridge pins are concerned. I'm wondering actually if I just change the order of them. No, they're all going to be loose. That's a nuisance. Okay, I'll come back to that later. I've got to try and get this glue off of here carefully. Trying to use a few different tools. I've got a pair of tweezers here, which are obviously not quite so sharp on the end, and obviously I can grab hold of the little bits of glue and pull it off. This is probably the worst bit, just here. That's coming off nice and easy, so that's fine. It's a little bit untidy. Let's see if I can just very gently, literally cut the excess glue. Should be okay. Okay. Now that worked fine. That's good. Okay, so that's what I'll do here. I'll just very carefully cut through the glue with the scalpel and pull it away. That's good. Tricky. Oh, there goes the light. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. It's proven a little bit problematic, but you know, that's kind of the way it goes. This side is all right, actually. Let me just get a paper towel and see if I can wipe the rest of that away, but it's not going to work. Let me just try and scrape this last bit away. It's only a small amount of it, but you can see it. So obviously you can see there's been a repair, and I don't want that. There we go. It's got most of it. I think that should do it. Yep, that's got it. Good. So yeah, there's a couple of little bits here and there, a little bit on the end there. That's going to be easy enough to get out. Good. A little bit around this front edge here, back edge I should say. There we go, it's coming away nice and easy. Let's get the tweezers on that. Okay, that's pretty good. A little bit on that corner there. Okay, I'm happy with that. So I've got to address the issue now with these pegs. Now, I can do it a cheaty way, just, you know, wrap a bit of tape around them or something. Let's just check the others again. That's good, that's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, it's a nuisance really, and I should have thought about it, but I didn't. So, my bad. I messed up, and you know, as I said before, it's very difficult to get perfection in jobs like this. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, I'm really happy with this. It's come out really well. You know, there's obviously a few little bits and pieces I've got to take care of, but it's nothing major. Just chasing that last little bit of glue right to the end. There we go, that's great. No, it hasn't. Let's go back. There we go. Let's get in it. Yeah, sometimes it's better to go something which is, you know, more sort of blunt edged, because the sharp blades will literally just cut anything it touches. Whereas doing it, you know, with something like this, like a pair of tweezers, provided you're careful, you shouldn't make any marks. And I am being extra careful. Let's just have a look at that other side. Yeah, that side's fine. Okay, that's good. Okay, so what to do about these bridge pins now? Sorry, excuse me. Because it's, you know, they're close, they're very close, but that one is particularly loose. That one is probably good enough. Okay, I'm just going to have a little think about this, about how to resolve that problem, and I think I'm going to do it a really bad, cheaty way. Just going to put a little dab of glue inside the hole, let it set, and then that will make it tighten up. So I've got another little glue squeezer here, so I can get a tiny amount of glue, because I really don't want too much for a job like this. And just smear that inside the hole. A little bit more. This is a bit of a redneck way of doing it, I know, but it's and doing the plugs would be better, but you know, very time consuming. And for such a fraction of it, you know, being the holes being slightly too big, it does seem kind of overkill. That will do fine, because that will just kind of rubberize around the hole, and that'll be good enough. Redneck repairs. So provided the pins hold whilst the strings are under tension, it won't matter, and I'm sure it'll be fine. So before I go any further with, you know, the string up, etc., I need to just give it a little bit of a light polish over the top, and oil the bridge. So try and get this little bit of glue off here without scratching it. That's got it. A wet fingernail, that's all we need sometimes. Okay, so I'm just going to go and grab some polish to do the top of this guitar, and then oil the bridge, and then we'll get it strung up. How are we doing for time? Not great, but I'll crack on. Okay, so I've just got a pot of beeswax polish, and somewhere I've got a sponge applicator. Of course, it's never here when I'm trying to find it. Well, that's okay, I'll just use a corner of the cloth. So you don't need much of this stuff, it's quite runny, odourless. So just put a little dab on the cloth, and that'll be enough to do the whole of the top of the guitar. Just kind of smear it on at first, and then rub it in. So like any, you know, kind of wax polish, you really don't want to leave it on too long. The longer you leave it on, the harder it is to get off. So this is just getting a really light polish, nothing too elaborate. But, you know, particularly around the bridge. Okay, so I'll just buff that off now. It should be fine. And when you're taking the polish off, it's a good idea to keep turning your cloth to get a clean, dry part. Otherwise you just end up smearing the polish around. And that's actually coming up really nice. That is more than good enough. It's fine. Okay, that's good. So I'll put a little bit of oil on the bridge now. It doesn't really need it now that I've smeared some of that wax polish on there, beeswax polish. But, you know, this is just going to make sure that the wood is protected. There we go. I mean, it had dried a bit anyway, so it was necessary to do this. And it doesn't matter that I smeared it on my freshly polished body, because it's basically the same substance and it will just buff out. Again, I'll use the same cloth as I did for the polish. Wow, that's lovely. Perfect. So a little bit of glue just there. Right, that is excellent. Just the job. Okay, so now time to start stringing it back up. So I'll put the saddle back in first, which hopefully should be it's not the tightest fit, but it's not too bad. I'm not going to make a new one just for that. Okay, so unwind the strings at the top end, get it strung back up. I'm going to leave those two end ones till last, just to give that glue time to set and rubberize a bit, so I'll do all the others. Okay. Oh dear, it's always all tangled up when you don't want it to be. Come on. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's try not to scratch that top too much. Okay, finally got it untangled. So, that one in first, which is the second string, the B string. Got to make sure the end of that string goes past the little bevel on the end of the pin. There we go. That's that one. Get that first string out of my way. He says now that it's tangled up with all the other strings again. Okay, let's get that one out of the way. Okay, so third string. Oh dear, time's running away from me. Okay, and that one goes. Nice. And fourth string. Okay. Fifth string. Okay, and sixth string. Okay, and now the first string. I'm not sure if these pins are going to hold or not, but I think this should be alright. Okay, so that's all the strings back in. So I can now start to tighten the strings up. I'll put my tuner on there. Okay. So Okay, so that's the 4 middle strings started to tighten up. I'm now going to carefully do